Good morning, everyone. I think it's still morning yet. I just thought I'd do a Sunday review. And yeah, all the fishes are out on my main tank, and I put the guppy grass in this corner and took out. Well, I didn't actually take that many floating plants out. I pushed them all to the back, so it gives it a bit more depth and a bit more light. And as I've just disturbed the tank, yeah, all the fish are out. There's quite a lot of fish in here. They're not very big, and they're mostly endlers and guppies, so no worries. Plenty of the pressure and space and all of that stuff in my tank. It's not over full. Don't worry. You would know. Yeah, and the big females are doing their thing. I really do need to get a male silver molly or a silver sailfin molly. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Just breed a load of them. Yeah, so in the the third tank, I moved the jug. My experiment with the baby cory eggs, it didn't really work out. I think I must have took the eggs that were mouldy or starting to mould or non-fertilized or something. After a few days, they went mouldy. I put some methyl blue in, just a little bit, but that still didn't actually help them out much. So, yeah. Oh well, there's other days and other times. In this tank, you might notice if I bring them to the front, the smaller ones are getting to a nice size. I think my dad wants to nick some of them, so they'll be going probably next week. The baby Aspidora in there, you can barely see it, but it is in there. It'll get moved to the other tank once it's bigger. There's only one female now. The other female died. Not of a disease or anything. I think she just was old, and because I don't know how long the shop had had these as adults, and she'd had a few, obviously, offspring. So it's not like her life was wasted or anything. You know what I mean? She had a good life in the end. Had a nice tank to herself, and all of that, and plenty of food. And as you can see, I've just fed these, so there's food all over the bottom. Yes, yes. Have you overfed them? No, no. I haven't. And in this tank, we have. I need to learn to edit, don't I? In this tank, what have we got? Well, this is our usual tank. I've also pushed the floating plants to the back. Just a bit too much sunlight, isn't it? Bear with. Is that better? Probably not, but it'll do. Okay, so I pushed the floating plants to the back and put a lot of the guppy grass obviously in the big tank. There's still guppy grass everywhere. That wasn't a bad purchase actually. And yeah, so now these can. They're still a bit frightened of me, I think, because every now and again I'll try and take some more of those endlers and guppies out. And yesterday I did 2/3 ish water change, maybe half a tank water change, and took out a few of them, like the guppies and endlers, and yeah, swords aren't always happy with me. But there is at least one baby sword in there, so they're doing their job that I wanted them to do. There would probably be more, but the females are just starting to get old enough. And so we know we've got one big female, that one under the male there. There's at least one more male in there. That's that one. If you see those three together, that's a female. That's a male, obviously, with his big sword tail. That one, I think, is a male, because if you look there, if you look at his anal fin, it's forming like a tubular effect. So there's going to be two males in there. That female, I think that's a female. Yeah, that's a female. And the one at the back, there's one right at the back. Yeah, she's just coming to the front. I think that's Yeah, that's a female as well. So you've got 3 females and 2 males. Now that should be a good number. If the males start getting too aggressive, I'll just take one out and put one in the big tank. I mean, I say a big tank, but for me it's a big tank. I know, it's not a huge tank, don't worry. I've had bigger tanks. Yeah. So in here, the corries are doing their thing, and they are starting to lay eggs, so that's a good thing. And there's a corrie hiding in there, and there's one over there. The corries are starting to do their thing as well, which is good. So the newer ones I bought, which were I bought 5 little ones, they're obviously starting to get to a size that's relevant, and the other 3 are all mingling together now. So there should be 8 corries in there, and they're all mingling together now, so that's good. So we should be getting more and more eggs, and obviously the more they practice and the more eggs they lay, well, obviously not all of them will survive in that tank. The chances are always 1 or 2 will survive, and until I can set up a specific thing for them that I want to breed them, that'll have to do. And it will, I mean, they will survive, because the Aspidoras in the other tank, I bought 8 about 3 years ago, and there's always 7 or 8 of them in that tank, and some of them are smaller and newer than the originals, so that there's always a cycle of some of the older ones die off, and there's always newer ones to replace them. So even in that tank, which is busy and full of fish that would eat small things, they do manage to survive. So that's always good. And I've got in that tank and in this one, I've got spawning mobs. So there's a chance that if they lay the eggs deep enough inside the spawning mob, it'll be safe. There is a couple of coolie loaches in the big tank, but they don't really bother. You're going to say, oh, but they eat your eggs. Well, they might do, but I don't think they haven't decimated the population to a point where they've killed every egg off. So yeah, I don't. It's just a factor of life, and the coolie loaches don't seem to be destroying much. Although it would be nice if I had coolie loach babies. Hint, hint, coolie loaches. Nod, nod. There is 4 of them in there, although I never see 4 of them. I've seen 2 at the most at one go. I got a nice picture of one yesterday, as it was well, that's nothing in that corner, as it was just lounging on the surface, well, on the gravel. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Nothing too exciting. One Corydoras failed egg experiment. It's not the end of the world. And that's probably my fault, obviously, because I didn't either get the right eggs, or I didn't put Mythop Blue in early enough. I think next time, if I was going to do something like that, I don't like destroying tanks. I would actually just put the corries in their own little tank / tub, and obviously put stuff in it, but just have them in there by themselves. And no snails. Oh my god. Here's a thing. Things. We're obviously going for a 10-minute video that nobody will watch. I use snails, right? Because, well, I got them and I couldn't get rid of them, and now they're actually useful because they get rid of a lot of the detritus in the bottom of the tank. But have a look at this corrie. Don't see the corries much. There's a new type of snail in my tank. Now, I'm not sure what it is or what they are, because there's a few of them. They've obviously come in with the guppy grass. There must have been eggs on that guppy grass, because that's the only thing I can think of which is different to my normal snails, unless there was somehow, there was eggs inside the substrate bag. you know, that have been there for God knows how long, but I don't think they would live that long. Anyway, I'm waffling. So, yeah, they were slightly different shape. They're more of a conical shape, but that doesn't mean much to you, does it? But it doesn't mean that much to me either. There's a few shrimp still in the tank, which is good, but I think their numbers, I think the water's not right for the shrimp, because they're not getting attacked, but the water just isn't good enough, that's fair enough. I mean, the water around here is good, but it might not be right. That's why I put the rock in, the lava rock, which weighs a ton. It's so heavy. It's a lot denser than you think. And yeah, I think I need to probably set up specific water for shrimp. And you can see the shrimp there floating above the leaf. It's gone now from your angle. But yeah, anyway, that's all that's happening in this tank. There is, as I said, at least one red sword tail baby, but I've only seen it like twice. It's a fair size, you know what I mean? It's not unseeable, but you'll not see it amongst all of that. And there is one advantage of having the ditherfish being endless, is they're small, and they give cover basically to all live bearing fry, because there's so many of them and they're all small. It sounds harsh, doesn't it? The fish have less to like, they don't just go chasing after the new baby, as it were. There's always things for them to catch their eye and try and chase. I mean, half the time they don't eat them anyway, but they'll swim after whatever. And there's a swordtail eating the algae on the planet. So they're actually quite good at algae eaters. All the fish, all the mollies, guppies and platies are good at nibbling on the algae. Which is, you forget that at times. Everyone gets obsessed with getting rid of algae with chemicals and God knows what, but there are a couple of good ways of getting rid of algae. Is just have a well planted tank and, well, fish that eat the algae. And a lot of fish will eat algae. Obviously certain types do it better than others, but yeah, they will eat it, especially baby fish. But that's my 2 pennies. Alright then, everyone, have a good, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you all again later. Bye.